Sometimes you have to be willing to say, all right, I'll give you 2 hours of my time. What do you got? This is one of those times with the Gran Legado from La Gloria Cubana. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. And this cigar is, Fingers, I believe in the Latin, the terminology is freaking huge.
Freaking huge?
I believe in the Latin, right next to caveat emptor. Freaking huge. The La Gloria Cubana Gran Legado Figurado. This is a 7 3/4 by 62, which means, Fingers Malloy, it is 7 3/4 inches long. Always makes Fingers Malloy laugh. And the ring gauge is a 62. That's the diameter of the cigar, or how thick it is around. Yeah, this is a mother. This is way out of our comfort zone. A 64 ring gauge is a full 1 inch around. This is a big pup. So the cap end is more of that torpedo, and the foot end where you light from also coming closer to a point, but it does have a clean foot, just smaller. A shaggy foot, I mean, there's still tobacco kind of flip-flopping everywhere. I'm going in, Fingers. You've already lit up. You're right there.
I have to say, Tony.
You can say anything you want.
I have set the stick down 3 or 4 times.
Oh. I cut it, and I'm pretty sure I got arthritis in my fingers. Oh, my God. The thing is huge. So you lit it. You set it down.
And I've lifted it 3 or 4 times. I think I have carpal tunnel. So for those of you keeping track at home, we've got an arthritis and a carpal tunnel joke in.
We went for the same joke. Oh, that's how you know you've been around each other way too long. This is a beautiful stick. Now, La Gloria Cubana makes some big stuff. The Serie R, oh, it's a giant. Now, I'm not talking about in size. I'm talking about in bigness, in power. Too much for me. Really and truly is. And then we did the Spanish press a couple of months ago, and I was like, this is a really fun smoke. It's kind of interesting. Well, very, very different from what I was expecting from La Gloria. This looks frightening, but I love Connecticut broadleaf. So I don't know. I'm lighting up, Fingers.
Oh, so he's going in. He's doing what we like to call the Louisville Light.
Toasting the foot end here. You wanna see the red. You want to get it to be a little bit of white. You want to take some time with it. You don't want to necessarily burn the tobacco that's around it. Oh, it might turn a little darker. Don't worry about it. You're totally fine there. And then a couple of puffs, and let's get this thing going.
So as he lights this, listen, this is, like Tony said, this is big, and the hand feel, the mouth feel is not going to be for everyone.
No, when you say not for everyone, not even for me. Not even for me. 62 is just not where my life is comfortable by any stretch of the imagination. But I will tell you, it's beautiful. It's this mottled black. The oil you can feel off this. There is a grit happening on this cigar that I just love. It has, from all appearances, this level of elegance, this level of sophistication, and it's almost a little beguiling, because I only assume that after the cigar, I'm going to need to take a nap.
Even the band, the whole presentation is just wonderful. We just lit this. We're just in the first third, and right now the only thing I'm getting is pepper, but it's not a pepper bomb. But there's a nice bit of pepper there. I'm wondering what's striking you at this point.
I'm not there yet with any flavors. Part of the issue is that 62 is a 62 ring gauge. It's hard to smoke. So the mouthfeel idea is how it feels, right? Hand feel, how it feels in the hand. Mouth feels, how it feels in the mouth, and it really is big. You gotta get around it, and people are gonna be like, oh, ha, 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 ha. You're talking about spending your money, and where do you get your enjoyment? And these things do matter, but some people love the bigger ring gauge stuff. Now, the bigger the ring gauge, the less the ratio you're going to have, right? Ratio of wrapper to binder and filler. Flavor comes from wrapper. And as I said, I love that Connecticut broadleaf. But this is going to give me less broadleaf and more of that binder and filler. Think of it. It's a 62 ring gauge on a 7 3/4 inch cigar. I mean, that's a mother, but Fingers is right. Get out your notebook. What did you eat today? What did you drink today? What is the weather like? It has been gorgeous in central Indiana, where we broadcast from, outside of Indianapolis. The fall is here. It's been crisp. The sun has been shining. You just want to jump into a leaf pile. It's been sensational. But all of that will have an effect on palate. And then, yeah, you're going to break the cigar into thirds, right? First third, second third, final third here. And you're going to say, what are the flavors that I'm getting? You're going to write them down in your notebook. Any notebook will do. And then you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to try the cigar in a month or 3 months, whatever it is. You'll do the same thing. Compare the notes. Get an idea of your through line. What is it that really took you about the cigar? What flavors did you get? That's where your palate is. There is some spice, but I can't tell you what that is yet.
So I'm curious. This, as you said, this is not the world that you live in as far as a ring gauge. What made you decide to review this week?
Fingers Malloy, our job is your phone ringing? Look at you. 5 years on the job. That has never happened. A little. Thanks. They often ask us, Tony, what's it like to be a professional broadcaster? And the answer is, we don't know. The reason Figures, oh my God, he's so mad.
I hit silence on the damn phone.
You see, why do you trust the phone itself? You got to toggle the little whatchamahoo's or throw it out a window. Both things work.
It's a jitterbug phone, top of the line for seniors like myself. And I trusted it, and I shouldn't have trusted it, Tony.
Do you want to say get off my lawn or 23 skinny you? Anything?
Sock it to me.
I chose this cigar because you got to get out of your own head. You got to get out of a comfort zone. And the only way to know things is to try things. And you cannot pretend that everything has to be made your way. People have ideas. And La Gloria Cubana, honestly, deserves our trust. They deserve to be able to say, hey, we did this. The people who rolled this have at least 15 years of experience with these kinds of tobaccos. This is what we're presenting. Trust us. And I'm like, yeah, you've earned it from me. I'm totally willing to trust you. So that's why we're doing it.
If the flavor profile hits you right, do you see yourself saying, okay, you know what? This isn't normally the ring gauge that I would gravitate to, but doggone it, I'm going to incorporate this in my humidor.
Absolutely no shot. I mean, there's just, look, on a regular basis, no shot. Is it something where at the end, would I have a couple? We're going to find out soon enough. We'll get into whether or not this cigar is in our humidor. From La Gloria Cubana, the Gran Legado right here, Perfecto, 7 3/4 by 62 Fingers Malloy. It is a big pop. Keep it here. Deals, Fingers Malloy.
What can I do to put you in a deal today?
Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. Find everything we do at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. The people, as you like to say, the folk.
Yes, the folks.
The folk or the folks.
Yes.
Right, singular or plural. They were running out to Costco because Costco was slashing prices. Whole bunch of grocery products, they were cutting as much as 13% because they are in a price war, Fingers Malloy, with Target and Walmart.
Did they actually say 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a price war?
They did not, nor were thumbs involved. Although I'm sure that if they could, they'd break some thumbs of some Target employees. They wouldn't even care. Those Costco people, a bunch of savages.
Wow.
The point is, I don't know what they have to price war with. Now, don't get me wrong. I want a good deal. But I would rather buy stuff from Costco over Target, food-wise, any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Really?
Oh, 1,000%. It's not even a question.
But I thought what most people like to do is they get together with their significant other on a Friday night, and they head to their local Target Supercenter.
I believe they call it the Target on Friday nights.
Yes, and they pack a water bottle that doesn't have water in it. It has their favorite rosé.
Right.
And then they walk around and they do their shopping and they get their groceries and things like that. You're saying, no, you do that at Costco.
And then they make sweet, sweet love in their minivan.
Sounds like a future Hallmark movie.
I have said many times that Target should, one Friday night a month, it should be 21 and older, unless you have a child who is in like one of those car seat things that you put in there, like a baby, and they should have wine stations, and you would not be able to get in the place. 100%.
So there, I was at a conference, and I had a hotel that had a whole kitchenette, and I was there for 3 or 4 days, and I went to a local hippy dippy grocery store, and they had a beer bar in the middle of the grocery store with a bartender, beers on tap. And so you could get yourself a pint. And the beautiful thing was they actually had stout. It wasn't 10 IPAs. So I had a stout, walked around and did my grocery shopping with a pint of beer. It was glorious, Tony.
It's the world of tomorrow today, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know that they really felt that was something you need to compete with. But we are leaving out the fact that food prices are up. They've been up for years. They continue to be up. And the shopper is more conscious than ever of where their money is. Absolutely aware. Which is what makes stories like this so problematic. 12 million pounds of meat recalled for listeria risk. It's the kind of stuff that makes people crazy. You mean I'm already paying too much for it as it is, and now you're trying to kill me with it? This is a poultry producer called Bruce Pack, to which Fingers and I have absolutely no financial connection whatsoever. Bruce Pack recalled 11,765,285 pounds of chicken.
That's a lot of chicken.
That's a tremendous amount. Now, this isn't in all stores. This was really focused on East Coast, Delaware, maybe the Delmarva kind of area. 7-Eleven, Wegmans, Acme, Safeway, Walmart. You got to check with your people there. So this goes to back in July when you had Boar's Head having this listeria issue. By the way, 7-Eleven chicken salad with Caesar salad with chicken, 7-Eleven country style chef salad, the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken from Taylor Farms. You've got it. This list is long. Very, very, a lot of ready-made stuff. Ready-made this, ready-made that. Are you a ready-made meal guy?
No.
Is that right?
Listen, Tony, if there are two things I live my life by.
Is one of them live, laugh, love?
One is live, laugh, love.
I knew it.
The other is farmers fresh to table. So I like to make my meals. I go right to the farm. I pick the corn right out of the field there. I ask
you pick the corn right out of the field, do you?
Right out of the field. I ask the farmer. I say, farmer, give me your fattest hen that I can throw in a crock pot and enjoy a lovely meal. That's what I like to do, Tony.
Hen. I was ready for some of it, not for all of it. People are very into the ready-made meals. Very into. I don't have the time. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I can't just put chicken on a grill or on a cast iron or anything else. No. Amazon Kitchen as well. If you're somebody who gets things off Amazon, a bunch of Taylor Farms items, HEB, Giant Eagle. Two rather large supermarket chains. Meijer, a bunch of their salads, Racetrack.
Well, that's what lends me to believe that this has actually expanded outside of Delaware. And we'll have this list over at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. But some of the retail outlets that carry these products at Walmart, Kroger, Albertson, Publix, Target.
Oh, I didn't see Kroger.
Yeah, Aldi, Amazon Fresh, Trader Joe's, 7-Eleven, Meijer, Giant Eagle, Wegmans, and Save Mart.
Yeah, so the list, not a lie, is extensive. Trader Joe's, you mentioned, of course. You do have to check. You do have to be aware. What is odd is that lately you have to be more aware than ever. I often think it's my imagination playing tricks on me, right? It's just because we do this, we notice more things. But have there been more breakouts? Have there been more issues over the past couple of years than in years past?
It certainly feels that way. And I wonder if it has to do with, you hear about some of these major food processing companies having a difficult time hiring and keeping people. Right. Maybe it's a situation where, people are short-staffed, companies are short-staffed, maybe some things slip through the cracks that shouldn't normally slip through the cracks. I'm only wildly speculating here, but I agree with you. It does feel like that this has been happening a lot more frequently than it ever used to.
By the way, I'm still going through this list. You could scroll for forever. Atkins, Boston Market ready-made meals, Michelina, which I think that's how you pronounce it, Michelina, and some of their Italian meals. I think they're all Italian meals, actually. Good and Gather, which I believe is a Target brand as well. It's good. I'm still scrolling.
Oh, it's crazy. So, again, we'll have this list over at eatdrinksmokeshow.com for you to check out, and then look in your refrigerator, look in your freezer to make sure that you don't have any of these products.
And then if I could, take a cooking class and make your own damn lunch.
Yes. And find a farmer. Find a farmer that will give you a fresh, fat, plump hen for Sunday dinner.
Oh, God. God, that makes me so happy. I don't know why. Just the thought of you saying the word hen.
I believe it's the first time in 6 years we've used the word hen on Eat Drink Smoke.
6 years or 5 years?
Sure.
Eat, Drink, Smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. Find it all at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Smoking from La Gloria Cubana, the Gran Legado Perfecto, 7 3/4 inch cigar by 62. It's work, kid. This cigar is big. It is work.
Yeah, and a lot of smoke coming off this thing. I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school here, but during the break, a neighbor to the building here knocked on the window and asked if someone elected a new pope.
That's good. That is a white smoke joke, ladies and gentlemen. A white smoke Catholicism joke. Those are the rarest jokes.
I'm Catholic, by the way.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Well, in these sensitive times...
forget those people. Listen, if you want to go make a Jewish joke, go right ahead.
A Jew and a Catholic walk into a cigar lounge.
And that's how the whole thing got started. The La Gloria Cubana Gran Legado Perfecto. Send your emails to fingers@eatdrinksmokeshow.com. My faith in La Gloria Cubana is real. This cigar has been tough. It is a tight draw. I'm trying to move it, get it open. I'm cracking the tobacco a little bit. That's driving me nuts. I just haven't gotten through some of the tight spots to get to something smooth yet in terms of a smooth draw.
Yeah, for me, it has been difficult to keep this lit. But once I have it lit and am able to enjoy it, the flavor profile is fine. That pepper that I talked about when we first lit the cigar, that's kind of subsided, or I've gotten used to it. Right. One of the two. And maybe a hint of cocoa. But there's not a lot that is hitting me right now.
Okay. I just cut it a little more. So when we do a cut, we just straight cut on this Perfecto, and we cut it a little bit shallow. I always like to be able to say, don't cut much. You can always add to it. You can't take away from it. You don't want to take away from the cigar. You really want to get an idea of what the blenders were going for. And I think that when you make a Perfecto, they want it to narrow in. They want it to intensify. It was just too tight. It was just too tight. And they may want something, but you have to enjoy the cigar itself. So I cut it a little bit more, opened it up probably to about a 50-52 ring gauge, and now it's smoking better. Now I'll be able to kind of get an idea of where we are. This sells in a box of 10 fingers, Malloy. La Gloria Cubana, the Gran Legado, Legado, the Gran Legado Perfecto, Connecticut broadleaf, Nicaraguan in the binder and the filler with some Dominican in the filler. Is it in your humidor at $14.95 a stick?
Okay, this is all about a price point value conversation. So far, while it has been a little bit of work to keep this lit.
It's been definite work. No lie.
If this gets easier, I could see having one of these in my humidor. But this is not something that I would definitely not buy a box just because the ring gauge is a little bigger than what I normally like.
Yeah, so as a 62, this is not where I live and breathe. This is not even my interest. But you have to try things. You have to go out there and experience things and see what it is that you like. And you're allowed to have your favorites and you're allowed to have your go-tos and things like that. Every now and again, you got to throw something in. You got to see whether or not it's gonna work for you. As a matter of flavor, that spice is there. The problem is I've had such an issue with the draw that I haven't been able to get a real feel for the flavors. You talk about cocoa. I haven't been able to have that experience yet. I would argue that there is an overall coffee richness that's happening with the cigar. What it is that a Connecticut broadleaf has to offer. It's what I love that flavor. So everything should work here. I just don't know about these proportions. But if a draw doesn't work, it doesn't matter. That's the key.
This is supposed to be relaxing. And if you feel like it's turning into a job, if you're working to smoke your cigar, then no, it's not worth it.
That draw just got a whole lot easier. That cut worked. It wasn't much. It was just open it up a little bit and give yourself an opportunity. What happens is that you're trying to bring it into the palate. You're going to create hot spots. You're going to be bringing so much air past the tobacco that you've lit and that combustion that takes place. You're going to get the hot spots. That's going to lead to ammonia. And for me, that leads to the plugging of the cigar. I notice that this happens to me. It's the way I smoke. Because it doesn't happen to other people on the same cigar. You will find that you're not getting a draw anymore. And you go to ash it. You go to ash the cigar. And you'll find that it's like black. Like if you keep tapping it like this, it's just going to come out. It's almost going to hollow out a good bit of the cigar. You're smoking too hot. You're too many puffs per minute. You're smoking too hot, and you gotta take some time, A, to slow down, and B, ask yourself, what is it that you're doing and your movements to rectify that situation. Now, I've had that happen. I tap it out. I light the wrapper and I get back to it and it's fine, right? I'm able to overcome that. But that is about me. And that is about how I'm treating the cigar. And it doesn't happen all the time, but I notice that it happens to me more than it happens to other people. And so clearly it's how I'm smoking and I'm making it too hot and it's plugging up.
Well, and sometimes that can happen too, because if your cigar is going out on you frequently, you want to, the natural reaction to that is wanting to pick up the cigar and have an extra draw or two. And the next thing you know, like you said, it becomes too hot.
I haven't determined whether or not it also comes from a level of OCD where you're always touching up your cigar. I find I do that. More than anybody else, I touch up my cigar because I like it perfectly even because, you know, all the socks have to be the right color in the right drawer. Don't mock. But I do think that is a part of it. And listen, I smoke often. I smoke more than the average bear. I think that much is true. I built the studio so I could smoke in the studio, right? My radio work, our work, TV work, all of it. Sometimes you got to take a step back and say, what am I doing wrong? And I'm starting to say, okay, I'm doing this thing wrong. And so now I'm trying to do it right. Can I discuss something else I was doing wrong?
Go ahead. The field is yours.
So you are back on the carnivore diet, Fingers Malloy.
Yes.
And the carnivore diet is all meat all the time. He drinks meat as a slurry, the whole thing. True or false?
That is absolutely 100% true for this story.
Okay. Last weekend was Jewish holiday Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement, and you fast on Yom Kippur. You're focused on how you can create a better life, have a better year. These things you don't focus on eating. You focus on the prayer. You focus on how to better yourself. Well, I've never been good at fasting, but my youngest decides they're going to fast. Doesn't eat, doesn't drink, whole day, 25 hours,
Not even water.
nothing. I'm like, yeah, my kid's better than me. I'll just drink. I'll have water, and I'll be fine. Get to the evening, get to breaking the fast, as we call it. I'm not really hungry. I'm like, this was interesting. Probably good for me to have a day I wonder if I can do it tomorrow. I wonder if I can do it the next day. I wonder if I can do it the next day. Not fast the whole day, but stick to protein, carnivore diet style, and have less. I must have cut out every day this past week 1,000 calories a day, 8 pounds.
Look at you.
8 pounds. And I was feeling terrible. I was looking in the mirror. I'm like, this is happening again. I could feel it. I could sense it. Nothing fit. The suit that didn't fit for the Jewish holidays when I would go to synagogue now fits.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
But it's also very effective. And of course, neither Tony or I or our doctors or dietitians.
What?
But having said that, same way for me is if you load up your diet with protein, you feel full, you feel satisfied. I've had, steaks, been eating, some maybe call it more of a cheater. Some people are very dedicated to carnivore where it's just meat. I had eggs and kielbasa. Outstanding.
Is that
Have
chef's
in the
kiss?
Yes. That in the morning, full the whole day.
We aren't medical professionals. We're just telling you what's happening to us. Very often, Fingers Malloy, people have questions. And as you know, we like to answer questions.
Do we?
Help the people help themselves.
Help me help you. Help me help you. I saw that once in a movie. Porky's 2.
That's what I thought it was from. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is Fingers Malloy. Holiday season upon us. Let's Go Bourbon. Let's Go Barbecue. Those are our books available at Amazon.com. Let's Go BBQ. Recipes, tips, and tales from the pit. And Let's Go Bourbon, the bourbon reader you've always needed. Available at Amazon.com. Fingers, a listener question. What is said question?
This question is from Paul, Tony.
That is not a real name.
And it reads, Dear Casey. No, it doesn't.
Nice.
No, it doesn't.
That was excellent.
Thank you.
Well done.
Hello, Mr. Katz.
Wait, does it say hello, Mr. Katz?
Yes, it says hello, Mr. Katz.
Why not hello, Mr. Malloy?
Listen.
That's savagery.
Sometimes, I realize a lot of times I'm just here for smart alecky remarks.
You are the eye candy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Katz.
Hello, Paul.
I have several Gurkha cigars
Yes.
in wax-sealed glass tubes. I have no idea how old they are and was wondering how long cigars last. Each cigar is approximately 6 inches long and 3/4 inch by diameter.
Tee.
Thank you.
Wait, is that not how it's done?
Yes.
I thought that's how it was. Dang it, I've been paying attention.
Is there any chance these cigars are still good? I enjoy listening to Eat, Drink, Smoke. Thank you, Paul.
Paul, the argument is not about the brand. The argument is about how you care for your cigar. In the glass tube, in the wax seal, everything is possible. How long did Paul say how long he's had them for?
No, he has no idea how old they are.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do, Paul. Paul's going to buy himself a humidor, and Paul's going to get himself some Boveda packs or some gel packs that will help regulate humidity. I would say at 72% humidity. And then he's going to put those cigars in there, and he's going to forget about them for about 2 weeks. Now, before you do that, Paul, take them out and feel them. Are they dry? Are they brittle? If they're not brittle, smoke one. I mean, smoke it. Maybe they've been able to hold. If they are dry and they are brittle, it is possible to bring them back. It is always possible to bring back a cigar. It takes patience. That's what it takes. If you don't have a humidor, you're going to have a very hard time with this. You can utilize a Tupperware. You're just going to have to open it every other day and get some airflow in there. Yes, the humidity, of course, will escape, but the Boveda pack will continue to do its job. You want to get a little bit of air in there. That's my take. That's the way I do it. Others may disagree with what I'm saying to you. And you have to accept the fact that maybe not. Really, depending on age.
It's funny. I completely spaced it. I had a friend walk up to me about a year ago with a big smile on his face, and he said, "Fingers, I know you love cigars. I got this at an auction." And he handed it to me. It was an Arturo Fuente in a glass tube, sealed. And I looked at it, and of course, I thanked him. But then I didn't open the tube, but under closer examination, I could see that the wrapper was cracked. I mean, you just don't know where this thing has been stored. It could have been in someone's trunk for a long period of time. Somebody could have thrown it by the window.
Cold exposure, heat exposure, sun exposure. You don't know.
Yeah. So it's difficult to say whether or not it's going to be good or not. But I completely agree with you. You take it out of the tube, you put it in a humidor, see what happens.
But I would now. Someone could say to me, "I don't think I would put that much humidity to it." You could say maybe 72 is being too aggressive. You want to put it something in the low 60s, and then see if you can build yourself up with it. Also, a way to do it. So you know what? Let me give a caveat. Start with a 66. I think Boveda sells a 66% humidity pack.
I think they sell 62.
Do they?
I think so.
If they do it. Right? Let's go a little bit lower and start there and start slowly bringing it up. And also make sure it's in a space, the humidor is in a space that is climate controlled, right? Where you're not getting wild swings, that it's not getting a lot of sunlight, not too close to a window where cold air is affecting it. Give it a chance. Give it a shot, Paul. All the best to you. It's time, Fingers Malloy, for News of the Week.
Tony, an independent panel found that there are deep flaws in the Secret Service, warning that another Butler can happen and will happen.
It took an independent panel. Butler, by the way, is Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump, there was the assassination attempt. He was hit in the ear. It took a blue ribbon fact-finding commission, did it?
Yes.
To tell Americans what they already know, that there are serious issues inside the Secret Service.
Yeah, the New York Post has the story, quote, "The Secret Service does not perform at the elite levels needed to discharge the critical mission." This four-person panel wrote in a letter to Homeland Security, and they accompanied the report describing the agency as bureaucratic, complacent, and static, even though risks have multiplied and technology has evolved.
So let's answer the question the way it needs to be answered. First, ain't nobody caring about anybody's politics. We want the president alive, whoever the president is, and we want the threats neutralized aggressively and with force, right? While people can cheer the imagery of Trump and the fist pump and the blood coming down the side of his face and fight and all of that, Donald Trump should have been physically dragged into a car and driven away. That didn't happen. You say anything you want. That is nuts. That is wrong. Those people should be fired. I don't care what the protectee wanted. I care that the life of the former president and the Republican nominee for president is protected. Same way I feel about Vice President Kamala Harris. Same way I feel about Joe Biden, J.D. Vance, and Tim Walz. Whether I agree or disagree with politics, irrelevant. Secondly, I think that you should go back to Kim Cheadle, who was the director of Secret Service, and you should hold her responsible, possibly for crimes, and see if she can be charged. Then you have to be willing to fire people. Something that a lot of politicians, when they get to elected office, they're loath to do because it's kind of an admission that they were wrong. The system doesn't work because your philosophy doesn't work. Your philosophy is not based on protect the protectee and do whatever is necessary, including in a full-on series of violent acts to protect them. No one wants niceness. No one wants kindness to the extent that we talk about in the cultural nomenclature. Nobody wants wokeness. Protect. Kill the threat. Move on to the next thing. If we don't believe this for the Secret Service, nobody is going to survive. And I don't say that glibly. I'm saying that is the problem.
Well, I think you really did hit on one of the main problems, is that there really is no true accountability other than the head of the Secret Service stepped down after a lot of pressure.
It was that congressional hearing.
Yeah.
And by the way, Republicans and Democrats, as some people noted, if you never saw it, you should actually search it up. The description people we both know and like, it was the most sober event amongst Republicans and Democrats, sober hearing they may have ever heard, certainly heard in the last 20 years. Clear-eyed. This is a problem. This is an issue. Now, maybe it's because they understand that this could be about them if there's a lack of protection. Republicans and Democrats, the most left-leaning, the most right-leaning, all with the same questions, and all with Kim Cheadle, who was the then director, the same level of outrage. What do you mean you can't tell us? What do you mean you don't know? What do you mean the roof was too sloped that you couldn't put a sniper on it? They were dumbfounded and infuriated, and they really resembled America, at least rational America, when they see this happen. So accountability, you're absolutely right about.
Well, what really worries me is you put these blue ribbon panels together, they come out there with their report, and then nothing ever happens.
Yeah, we can't afford to not have nothing happen. We can't afford it. We're going to be in a state of crisis constantly if we aren't engaged in proactive protection. It's to say otherwise, that anyone who says otherwise is a very dangerous, ugly person. Try new things, Fingers Malloy. How many times have I said it?
4 times.
Try new things. That now makes it 5. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. And in trying the new things, I wanted to bring us some bourbons that weren't breaking the bank. And in this case, I reached for a Kansas City whiskey.
Kansas City whiskey?
It's not a thing. It's an American whiskey, but it comes out of Kansas City. This is Rieger's. This comes from Jacob Rieger and Company in Kansas City, Missouri. It's unique. So this is straight bourbon whiskey that is blended with light corn whiskey and straight rye whiskey. Bourbon, 51% corn. That has to be the mash bill. Into the barrel, out of the barrel, at certain levels of proof. You can only add water to it. It has to spend just any amount of time in the barrel to be bourbon, but it has to match these requirements. The minute you start engaging a blend with light corn whiskey or straight rye whiskey, it is no longer a bourbon and cannot be sold nor categorized as one. It can, however, be sold as American whiskey. The people at Rieger's simply gave it the twist of Kansas City whiskey, coming in at 46% alcohol by volume, 92 proof. Sorry, only applause for things over 100 proof. Very nice bottle, almost a classic 70s kind of bourbon bottle in the physicality. But the actual look of this, it has that little bit of deep, a darker color, not necessarily into the ambers. It definitely into the honeys, into the goldens, with a little bit of depth to it on the color.
Yeah, a little copper, but
nice. That's the word. Copper's great,
but yeah, it's darker than some of the bourbons that. Well, this isn't a bourbon, but some of the whiskeys.
Don't
that
interrupt
we've had.
me. I'm sniffing.
Oh,
Fingers.
Yeah. What do you got?
That is a that is a nice mix of some of that caramel kind of flavoring, some of that rather a sweet happening on the nose. There is a little bit of spice, but it's not it's not rye spice in terms of heat. It's more it's a little bit more baking spices on that nose. That's a no ethanol, no alcohol whatsoever. That's nice.
I can't put my finger on that sweetness that you are referring to, but here's one thing I did notice.
Yes.
I brought the Glen Ross glass to my face here. See here, right here. And I could start getting some of what I'm getting on the nose a good 5 to 6 inches away from the glass. I mean, but it isn't I want to say it's like pungent. It's not off-putting in any way. It's very delightful. It's not overpowering, but you start to get that nose without even putting your nose in the glass.
A little bit of that sweetness and possibly a little bit of that nose comes from the fact that at Rieger, to make this Kansas City whiskey, they have a tiny amount of 15-year-old Oloroso sherry. And that's going to give you a very different, sweeter, top end, not pungent, but aware kind of flavor.
Do you get like a berry, you think?
I think that's absolutely what it could come from.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a nice nose. It really is. It kind of offers some pieces all the way around, right? It offers that caramel, not necessarily vanilla. It offers baking spice, not necessarily on the nose, a level of rye spice. That sherry that is in there could give you that kind of berry sweetness without necessarily being orchard, right? That's what we're getting. But enough about our nose. This is Kansas City whiskey, Rieger's, R-I-E-G-E-R''S, Jacob Rieger and Company. Their Kansas City whiskey. Fingers Malloy, you ready for this?
I've been ready for this all week.
He's going to do what's known as the Kentucky Chew, ladies and gentlemen. We start it neat. That's the way we do it. You move the juice around the palate. Try and get a feel for it. You might want to take 2 sips. The first one to set the taste buds. The second sip to really get an idea of the flavors. Fingers Malloy, what do you got?
That red berry is still there. A little bit of caramel, not getting a lot of oak. It's very sweet. Maybe a little bit of honey on the finish. It's very nice. If you're looking for a bourbon, this definitely, like you said, it's a whiskey. It's not a bourbon. So I don't know if you're grabbing this bottle, if you're thinking you want a traditional bourbon flavor profile. It's very sweet. It's enjoyable. I'll be interested to see what you think, because you're not usually the sweet whiskey kind of guy.
Right. So when we talk about American whiskeys, John Rich's Redneck Riviera has that sweetness. The other country star, American. Oh, gosh. We did it just a couple months ago.
You talking about Brad Paisley's?
I'm talking about Brad Paisley's.
Yeah.
Am I talking about Brad Paisley's?
Yes.
Okay. Also had some sweetness to it. But let us go in. The Rieger right here. Kansas City whiskey. Here we are. To your health, Fingers Malloy.
To my health, Fingers Malloy. He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing what we like to call the Saginaw Swish. Real nice dry finish, too.
A little sting on the lips. A little bit of tingle mid-tongue. No heat. Oh, that is sweet, isn't it?
Now you sound disappointed.
That is sweet. That is almost... That's desserty. That is almost... There's like a touch of frosting going on in there. You said honey. Yeah. The frosting though, I guess, can be seen as buttery. It's a touch more developed than I thought it would be. In that there, right? It's now kind of coating the tongue in that finish. To the extent that anything about this is traditional bourbon, no. There is no real caramel on the palate. There is no real oak that exists there. But it's a lovely drink. To the extent that we've done American whiskeys, it is that sweetness. But this is a little bit nicely tempered with a touch of spice on the finish, and that it's buttery and frosting is kind of a fun way to look at that.
Yeah, and this is another candidate, and I wouldn't suggest that we do this today because we just did that a month ago with the ginger whiskey. I think you could make a decent milkshake with this too.
See, I'm going to disagree with you, if only because it makes for good radio. I wonder if this is a mixed drink kind of thing. Like, I'm curious what can be done with this. Is this something that makes a Manhattan? Is this something that makes an old fashioned? What direction could we go in with this? And is it in your liquor cabinet, Fingers Malloy, from Rieger right here, the Kansas City whiskey, at $35 a bottle.
Probably.
Yeah, it's a probably, right?
Yeah.
It's just a sweetness, work for the whole table. We'll dig into more of this and on a cube as well. Halloween is almost upon us, Fingers Malloy. The most wonderful time of the year because you get to throw candy at children.
Oh, that's not the reason why it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Is that right?
No.
Then why is it?
Adult Halloween costumes. It's the one day of the year where women dress like trollops.
Slutty pumpkin, ladies and gentlemen. Well, actually, you can replace pumpkin with anything. And it seems to be okay. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is Fingers Malloy. There's a list here. We're always good at a list. This is from the people at NorthJersey.com. Just to make sure we welcome them to the show properly. How you doing?
How you doing?
That's not how it works.
I thought that sounded just like the sitch.
How you doing? Can you say forget about it?
Forget about it?
It's terrible. They have a list of the 10 worst Halloween candies, Fingers Malloy. You have a Halloween candy for us to try, which we will do momentarily. But number 10 on the list is the original Lemonhead lemon candy. I don't like any of the sour candies. I don't like any of the fruit candies, if only because they're not candy. It's just gross.
And it's very Skittle-esque, except harder to chew. Right. And then you've got that lemon candy stuck in your molars.
Number 9 on the list, generic taffy, as opposed to just taffy.
I like taffy. I just didn't like it for a Halloween candy treat.
Really? You like taffy?
I love saltwater taffy.
Is that right?
Yeah, but when you open up your bag and you dump it out and you see loose taffy, geez, why don't you just give me a penny?
You're like, what are we doing here? Number 8, atomic fireballs. Now, caveat. I think kids love that kind of stuff.
Yes.
It's hot. It's cinnamon. You're like, I can't take it anymore. It's a stress test. It's good for the youth. Exactly. Right? Be under a little duress already. What's wrong with you?
It's a hot cinnamon version of the Tootsie Roll Pop. How many seconds does it take before you can crunch all the way through an atomic fireball?
Never. I've spit it out well before then. Number 7 doesn't make any sense. Three Musketeers.
Oh, they are horrible.
What are you talking about?
Oh, terrible.
What?
No.
I will take all your Three Musketeer bars.
Oh, you can have them.
Oh, done. Dots come in at number 6, and off-brand Pixie Sticks come in at number 5.
Yeah, if you're going to get a Pixie Sticks, demand the original.
Do not accept imitations. Number 4 is pretzels. I'm sorry. Halloween pretzels? They're in the shapes of bats and whatnot?
Where are you trick-or-treating? At a tavern?
Yeah, I don't know. Very often I trick-or-treat in the villages. and they give me pretzels. They'll give me an apple, and sometimes just cash is what they'll do. By the way, apples and pretzels are a great combination. Have you ever had an apple and a pretzel? Not a soft pretzel.
Did you just ask me if I eat apples?
I apologize. I forgot where I was. Number 3, hot tamales. I'd rather have the atomic fireburst thing.
Oh, I love hot tamales.
Really?
You put a box in front of me, I would eat them right now.
It's not gross to you? It doesn't become overwhelming?
Oh, it's wonderful. I like those better than Mike and Ike's.
I don't even know what a Mike and Ike is.
Pretty similar to a hot tamale.
Okay.
Except it doesn't have the hot cinnamon flavor.
What flavor does it have?
Black licorice.
Oh, that's even grosser. That should have been on this list. Double Bubble is number 2. It's chewing gum.
Yeah, but it's chalky, and you need a vice to be able to crack its outer center.
That's
outer
true.
center.
It's
outer crust.
Center.
Yes,
it's
that's
outer center. That's a science term. And number 1, Necco wafers, the original. That is the worst candy that you can get.
Tastes like Tums.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Tums?
Necco wafers.
Oh.
But Fingers Malloy said, Tony, have I got a candy for you?
This, my friend, should be on the top of everyone's list. Reese's, or as Tony likes to call them, Reese's.
I do not.
Reese's Caramel Big Cup. So it's a caramel big cup. It's like the big time Reese's peanut butter cups, the big thick cups, but there's a layer of caramel gooiness underneath that chocolatey cover.
See, I think that you're once you're adding caramel to what is a perfect candy, you're ruining it. Why do that?
Because you can.
Savagery right there. So we're going to give this a go. This is, by the way, hold on, wait, before you open it, can I see this? Let's read the nutritional information, shall we? Let's make sure we ruin it. 2 servings per container. So each cup is 1 serving, 190 calories, 10 grams of fat, 120 milligrams of sodium, 24 carbs, 22 sugars, 3 grams of protein. That's health food, Fingers Malloy.
Trick or treat.
That is healthy stuff right there. How big is this thing?
Well, I believe it weighs 3 pounds.
I didn't say it wasn't, heavy. I was just curious.
Why
are you having such problems opening it? Just open the thing.
I am taking my time because I don't want to ruin it.
All right,
Look
he's
at
giving
that.
it to me.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Right here. That's a pretty big cup.
Yeah, it is.
That's a pretty big cup. Look at that right there. That is a pretty large cup going on right there. If you can get yourself a little bit of that love, look at it. It's pretty. It is pretty. Fingers Malloy, you gonna go first?
You want me to try first?
This is the Reese's Caramel Big Cup. The Reese's Caramel Big Cup. Go ahead, Fingers Malloy. I had to get some extra video. You did the whole thing. You didn't take a bite. You did the whole thing. God, you're a savage. You're an animal.
Oh, let's get the fine china out and a knife and fork.
By the way, if I had a knife and fork, I'd totally do it.
You were crazy. The caramel with that peanut butter and chocolate. It's a nice addition. It's wonderful. I know you're going to love it, Tony.
You know I'm going to love it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's try this right here. It has atomic weight to it. The Reese's Caramel Big Cup King size, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not doing the whole thing.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Because I don't know. I have a soul.
Oh, it's going to go straight to my thighs.
There. Please. My thighs are fantastic. Anything works. All right, I'm going in. I'm just telling you right now. Mm-hmm. Caramel's a mistake.
Okay.
Caramel's a mistake.
I want to say this before you take a bite.
Yeah?
Take a healthy bite. Don't just nibble on the edge.
Shut it.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. He's clearly enjoying himself. He's not regretting what just happened at all. It's like a party in your mouth and everyone's invited. It's that flavorful.
Ruined.
Oh,
come on.
How could you not like that?
They ruined perfection. Chocolate, peanut butter, done. Then caramel moves in next door and is like, hey, can I join the party? And peanut butter and chocolate are like, I guess so. And the next thing you know, the cops show up and there are no more parties. That's basically what happened here.
I completely disagree with you. I think that this is a wonderful medley, a perfect blend of chocolate, peanut butter. What are you handing it to me for?
Take that.
Here, Mikey. Mikey eats anything.
I know what I was doing. Nah. Oh, that's ruined. Look, I'm not going to throw it out of bed, but I'm also not going to woo it.
I feel like everything we do now, the question should be asked, would it be good in a milkshake?
Oh, that would be pretty good in a milkshake. Yeah, but not as a standalone candy. Eat, drink, smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. And that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. We are drinking, we are smoking. This is the Rieger's Kansas City whiskey. It's a mix of bourbon, rye whiskey, light corn whiskey, a little bit of 15-year-old Oloroso sherry in there. It was this nice bit of sweetness on the palate. Caramel on the nose, no oak, that we were able to discern. $35 a bottle, which is certainly a nice price point. A sweet drink here, but it's not enough to just try it neat, Fingers Malloy. Oh, no. We got to put it on some ice or in some water. You've got a little bit of water added to yours. I've got the ice chips right here, and that's boom.
Wow.
Going in like a man, I did that. and I'm going to go in with this. That's the sign of quality, ladies and
That's not prop ice.
and there's prop ice?
Sure there is.
Like in the movies, like in the pictures?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the talkies?
You beat me to the talkies, Joe.
That's what I do. I'm going in with the Riegers, R-I-E-G-E-R apostrophe S, Kansas City whiskey, because it's not bourbon, because it has the rye in it, blended in it, and the light corn whiskey. So therefore, an American whiskey.
And yet does not come with a slab of ribs.
Nonsense, if you ask me.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. It's on the rocks. Has it changed?
Yeah, I think I'd still be neat, but actually, the ice is nice. It brings up a little bit of spice, and the spice kind of makes the lack of oak a little more forgiving on this. It cuts down a little bit on the sweetness. It's actually that's nice. That's a nice sip. Still sweet, missing some of those bourbon component that you love and adore. At least I love and adore. But $35 a bottle, nice play. I could see somebody who likes the sweeter. This is like a bit of a daily pour, a simple pour. You got a bunch of people at an event. Pour that right out.
What was that again? Thank you.
And now, fingers below, add a little bit of water. So water brings down proof. It's the only thing that can bring down proof in a bourbon, certainly. But what it does is it opens up the whiskey, and sometimes it'll increase some flavors, sometimes mute some other flavors, and you really kind of play with those things to see where your palate is and what it is you like.
It's actually sweeter for me.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, I just had a big peanut butter cup with caramel, so that's monkeying with my palate a little bit. Having said that, I do feel like the water brought out a little bit more of that berry note and that sweetness. For me, I could go either way. I've got a huge sweet tooth, so it's fine, neat with a little bit of water in it. It's good as well. At $35 a bottle, it's definitely in my liquor cabinet.
Yeah, it's a fun pickup, and we've got this paired with La Gloria Cubana. This is the Gran Legado Perfecto, a 7 3/4 by 62 Connecticut broadleaf in the wrapper, Nicaraguan in the binder and the filler. Look, I'm going to go back to La Gloria Cubana. There are things about them I like. This has been very hard to keep lit.
Yeah,
and it's been a harder draw cigar. Now, it could be the way it was shipped. I would argue that it's my humidor, but it spent a few weeks in the humidor before we brought it out for testing on the show. This cigar, first of all, never mind that the 62 ring gauge, almost a full 1 inch around, is really hard. Not where Fingers and I breathe. It's just it's wrapped too tight. It's just the draw has been inconsistent. Certainly, cutting it a little bit more has made it better for sure. But it has not been consistent enough to really get a flavor profile on. And so it could be for a myriad of reasons, certainly the box that it came in, et cetera. At $15 a stick, you would think that there's a value play.
Yes.
For a 7 3/4 inch cigar, but not for this much work.
I got to tell you, I said in the first hour that it is in my humidor. I don't think it is now. It has just been too much work. It's been too much work trying to keep it lit. And I would revisit this cigar if this size were in my wheelhouse. But the fact that it's not, I don't know if I would go grab another one for me to redeem it to be able to have it in my humidor.
I would grab another one just to see if it was a humidification issue in shipping or where it was stored from where I got it. That's what I would want to check and want to see. Does it turn me off from La Gloria Cubana? Absolutely not. As I stated, I really enjoyed the Spanish Press cigar quite a bit. They've got a line of cigars, and if you like big, powerful, full-bodied smokes, La Gloria has got you covered. I wouldn't say a bad thing about them. This is just, sadly, this is just not working on a mechanical level to be able to give us an idea of whether or not on a flavor level, on a flavor profile, it would be in the humidor. After smoking it and trying it and focusing on it, is just a fair amount of work. But it's time, Fingers Malloy, for news of the week.
Tony, I don't know if you've looked at a calendar recently, but the holiday season is right around the corner.
Well, I thought we were already in it. We already passed Labor Day and Arbor Day, right? And then there was a Bourbon Month, National Bourbon Month, and then we had National Cheeseburger Day. So I've been celebrating so often. I haven't gone to work in 3 years.
Well, people call you festive for a reason.
They do. That's what they say. They say, festive, Tony, how do you do it? And I say, the answer, discipline.
Well, as the holiday season approaches for everyone else,
right?
The United States Postal Service is looking to bolster its team, and they are hiring. They're going on a mad hiring spree.
Is that right?
Across the country. We're here in central Indiana. They're having a jobs fair next week, and they're looking to hire a lot of people to fill all positions, paying up to $22.13 an hour plus some benefits.
I make more on OnlyFans. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be available.
Okay, work with me for a second here.
Sure.
Postal worker OnlyFans page.
Wait, do they wear the uniform?
Maybe a knockoff, because I'm sure that the United States Postal Service frowns on when you're walking through the sleet and the snow, the freezing rain. You film it and then put it on an OnlyFans account.
Right, but they're wearing the shorts.
Yeah, that's the
shot
and the
right socks.
There. Yeah,
and the satchel
and the suspenders.
Do you need a moment alone?
Anyone else need to smoke a cigarette right now?
I think wrong show. I think this just got very, very personal on your world. Also, be sure to check out Fingers' new OnlyFans page. I've got a great name I can't say on air.
Oh, I've been cleaning up a lot of jokes for this segment.
Oh, that is precious. That's not enough money to get people to join the Postal Service.
You don't think so?
Nope.
$22 an hour. That's pretty good.
You can do better elsewhere. And no sleet. And no one says, my package did not show up on time. Who do you think you are? I ordered a package, and it should have been here immediately. You took 5 days. The whole holiday is ruined.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ralph Wiggum's grandma.
My cat's breath smells. I can't do it. Damn it.
My cat's breath smells like cat food.
Can't believe you beat me to it. That is just rude. No, it's not enough money. $22? Not enough money.
Wow.
No way.
Tony, $22 for a job where you don't have to have a college education, that's not bad starting out.
It's not enough to get people to fill the jobs. Wait, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But I don't think that's enough to get people to fill the jobs.
What if you get free postage stamps?
I had to pay. No. I don't know where that voice is. I have no idea. I have no idea what's happening there. Nah, I don't think so. When's the last time you mailed a letter?
Last week.
That's not true.
Fan letter to myself.
This is Eat, Drink, Smoke.
You know, a lot of people turn to Eat, Drink, Smoke for dating advice, Tony.
They sure do.
And I can't think of a better place to get advice for dating than right here.
If anybody knows about love and the sweet, sweet love making, it is Eat, Drink, Smoke.
It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Fingers Malloy, along with Tony Katz. Find the books, Let's Go Barbecue and Let's Go Bourbon at Amazon.com, Tony.
Immediately, if not sooner.
So we've discussed in the past, it seems like, especially in this age of social media, that there are a lot of social media influencers who are complaining about the state of dating in 2024.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's either women saying, where are all the good men out there? And men saying, my gosh, I'm quitting. I'm not dating anyone anymore. I just want some peace. You know how I know all this, Tony? Because I like to monitor social media outrage.
And a fine job you do.
Now, we've discussed in the past, when it comes to dating, when the check comes, whether you should pay for it all as a man or if you should ask for a 50-50 split. And you always say, Tony,
Pay the damn bill.
pay the damn bill.
Men pay the bill. Now, I should give a caveat to that. Men should pay the bill, but men should be rather discerning about the women they take out. Only go out with a woman who's worthy of you picking up the bill.
Oh, I thought you were going to say only go out with a woman who will definitely say yes.
No. What? Well, no. What?
Well,
Only men, I'm talking to you, only women who are worthy of you spending the money on. That is it.
what if the woman is bold and she asks the man out on a date? Is she then responsible for paying the check if you're out to dinner, let's say?
I cannot bring myself to not pay the check if I am on the date. Now, the idea that the woman is asking a man out, which totally happens and not even a big deal, it's not even a shock, not even a surprise. Does that mean it is incumbent upon her to pay? Probably. I'm still paying.
So I know you asked, Tony, why am I bringing this up?
Hey, Fingers, why are you bringing this up?
There was a piece in the New York Post where women are talking about a new reason why they refuse to split the bill on dates.
Okay.
The hidden fees, Tony. Are you ready for this? Hidden fees. One woman got on social media and explained as soon as she has scheduled a date, she books a cyber bar class. I don't know what. Oh, excuse me, a cycle bar class. What's a cycle bar?
Oh, I think that's like working out to like, it could be hot yoga for all I know.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
$38. She gets her eyebrows done, $38 plus tip. Gets a manicure, $75 plus tip. That's a total of $171, Tony, and that's the reason why she should not be asked to split the bill because she's already got $171 invested in the date.
Yeah. Don't go out with her. Enjoy dying alone. I don't know how else to possibly discuss that.
It gets worse. She also listed the cost of all her beauty and hair products that she used while getting ready, which cost a total of $223, including $6.49 for curl cream, because you need the cream for the curls, Tony.
Is she making the argument that my investment in the relationship is dinner and her investment is the relationship is making herself look not like herself? She's engaged in fraud and I'm engaged in a steak.
Yes. Well, let's face it. When you are dating, everyone's engaged in fraud.
Hold on. She might have a point. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh no! Look! I'm not. I don't think I'm creating a long-term relationship with this woman, and here's why. I needed a moment just to make sure I digested it. She's saying that she takes care of herself and makes herself presentable, not because she has any self-respect, but just because she's trying to land a guy, which would lead one to believe that once she has landed the guy, she's going to let herself go. And it's going to be super bad. And that's not who I'm interested in. I want somebody who wants to take care of themselves. I want somebody who recognizes their own value and does things for the sake of self. And that if others are attracted to it, it's the confidence that they're attracted to, not some kind of a make-believe or pretend. So I go back to my original premise. Don't date her and she's going to die alone.
It gets worse.
Oh, good God.
You're
making this up at this stage of the game.
$22 on concealer. I don't know. If a woman goes to a date and wearing too much concealer and the guy's wearing camouflage, how are they able to see each other?
Did you work on that joke before you got here?
It just came to me.
You didn't workshop that?
No, I didn't workshop that.
You should have.
Yeah.
I was going to say I don't need to spend anything on concealer. I just don't show up. That is $0 on concealer.
$52 on blush. $52 on blush?
Well, you got to have the proper rosy cheek.
I mean, it's been a while since I worked the counter at Mary Kay. I just can't believe $52 on blush, $36 on bronzer, $32 highlighter, $14 eyeliner, $35 mascara, and $26 in lip gloss. In total, she claims to have spent $394.49 to prepare for a first date.
She should have spent that money on the burial plot where she will die alone. Gosh, that is...
But in all seriousness, have you noticed this trend on social media where people are really complaining about dating in 2024?
Yes. I have. Mostly it's women who are complaining. And don't look at me. Blame all the feminists who said that manhood was terrible and men are awful and toxic masculinity and men are violent and men are bad and men are guilty. And if you say, hey, you want to go back to my place, that's a criminal activity. And made men say, you know what? I've got a basement, video games, and porn. I'm good. I mean, that's...
See, now...
That's that.
I will disagree with you here because so many times I'll see men complain that women have a set of standards that if you don't meet those standards, you are not acceptable, and people will, I don't know if it's swipe to the right or swipe to the left on dating apps.
They're swiping in a negative fashion.
Yes, and a lot of it would say, let's say, for instance, height. It seems like most women want a man, when they did do the list of things I want in a man, they have to be 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys are saying, well, these women aren't even giving me a chance based on my height. I see this repeatedly on social media from the influencers, Tony, from the influencers complaining, guys saying, well, geez, I'm put in the friend zone because I don't meet these qualities. And then there, like I said earlier, there are women out there saying, well, geez, where are all the good men? And the guys are saying, well, you only want to date the top 10% and the rest of us are all in the friend zone. It all seems like a lot of work.
I never had this problem. Thank you. I don't mean to brag, but thank goodness I never had to do any online dating because that just sounds a lot like a mess. But there's nothing like women deciding, or anybody deciding they have a standard and ensuring that it's unobtainable so they can then complain about not being able to find anybody. Women do this, men do this as well. Hold the standard, so therefore you can never make anything happen, and then you can always sit there and complain and never actually do any work on yourself.
I think what we've done here is brought a little clarity to the dating world in 2024 here on Eat, Drink, Smoke.
Honestly, wait till you see our dating site. Eat, Drink, Smoke, Love. It's like Eat, Pray, Love, but with 2 extra steps. We are drinking from Rieger's, the Kansas City whiskey, $35 a bottle. It's nice. I think it's a nice dessert pour. I think it works well on the rocks. $35 a bottle in the liquor cabinet. It's a nice, easy pour. The cigar, La Gloria Cubana, the Gran Legado Perfecto. It was just hard to keep lit. It was a hard cigar to smoke, but we're going to try it again. We're going to have to. This is Eat, Drink, Smoke.
Follow Eat, Drink, Smoke on social media, on Twitter at Go Eat, Drink, Smoke, on Facebook, facebook.com/Eat, Drink, Smoke, and Instagram at Eat, Drink, Smoke Podcast.
Pretty